Today on Kicks Chronicles, we chat life with Kicks with father, husband, and digital content creator James Blake Williams II. We get into the kicks that he loved growing up in Canada. I also challenge James to a sneaker battle. Very, very special. Adidas ZXs. His top 3 versus my top 3. Lastly, we get his thought on reps, and not just his thoughts on reps and the idea of reps, but unlike many that we've spoken to on the pod, James is actually part of that community as well. It's a very, very interesting perspective. This is Kicks Chronicles. Yes, my people. Big PROZECH back again, and you already know what it is. Your sneaker and lifestyle podcast, Kicks Chronicles. And as I said, I'm your boy PROZECH. Welcome, episode 87. We're rocking and rolling. One more in the can. You get me? We're pushing, we're going. And thank you very much for everyone, first and foremost, that joined on the last episode. Last couple of episodes that we had with Culture Force. Big up Culture Force, one of the biggest in the game. We love to see it. This week has been an interesting week. Haven't been as active as I would like on socials and stuff like that. But guys, make sure to go hit me up. PROZECH on all forms of social media. You get me Instagram, TikTok, and everywhere you see and get your social media. And obviously, if you missed any of the previous episodes, including Culture Force, make sure to go check that out everywhere you get your podcasts. You get me. This week we've got James Blake Williams II. What an amazing name. Sounds like he's out of Bridgerton with that name, man. The Canadian native, I want to say, man. We talk a little bit about it, but like some of my favorite wrestlers come from Canada. Yeah, you get me? Bret Hart's, Chris Jericho's, Edge Christian's, you get me? Like, so I always feel like it's a little bit of a spiritual home. I kind of need to go there myself, man. But yeah, he gets into his collection. We get into chopping it up. We talk about his early influences, as I mentioned at the top of the show. Obviously, not living too far from Toronto and there, and the Raptors being the major NBA franchise up there. We talk a little bit about Vince Carter, his sneakers, in terms of what he wore at that very special time, and that dunk contest, the Tai Chis, the And1 Tai Chis. You get me? So he talks about his sort of love for that shoe growing up. But not only that shoe, we get into a load of other shoes. We talk about skate shoes. We talk about Iversons as well. We just get into pretty much everything. We also talk about his love for Adidas. And the thing is, what I say in this podcast, like, I'm an Adidas guy. I'm a Nike guy as well. And obviously, Nike are big and huge. But one thing I'm not going to stand for is Adidas slander. Adidas bring a lot to the table. And even though they're not on the level of a Nike, they definitely have a part and a place in the culture. And we battled. We battled over ZX, man. The ZX, yeah. Adidas ZX there's a huge amount of ZXs, and we get into it, man. So it's definitely a sick battle. But the number one thing I wanted to talk to him about, because unlike most, he actually identifies as part of the sneaker community and the rep community as well. And for me personally, I think you can be in both. Having spoken to a few people, I do understand there are some reasons, and we get into those reasons. And I personally, like I say in the podcast, don't believe there would be a rep community if there wasn't an authentic community. It just wouldn't be. And as we've seen, especially, I know it's slightly different, but if you take the example of Bathing Ape, and the man that was at the helm of Bathing Ape, Nigo, it recently came out that for years there was a significant amount of fake Bathing Ape that was in the market, and people didn't understand why the quality of the fakes was so good and so close, and even though we knew they were fakes and we could tell some of them were fake, there was a significant amount that we couldn't tell. And it came out very recently that the reason why it was so difficult for us to tell why some were fake and some weren't, was because Nigo owned the factories that were creating the fake babes. And he made bank, bro. The guy was cleaning up, right? Some might say it's a genius move. Some might say it's an evil genius move. Either way, there's a whole significant part of the communities that are out there rocking fake bait, but they probably don't even realize, you get me, that came from his factory. So one thing that I'm starting to realize, similar to back in the day with Black Panther and T'Challa and all of them ones there, like sometimes you get a Killmonger, man, and although it may seem wrong on the face of it, there may be some little threads of truth. It may not be as bad. It may not be as bad as people think. And this isn't PROZECH coming out advocating for reps. That's not me, and that's not what I'm about. But I am out here advocating for discussion and communication, and for us to understand people's points of view. I'm not out here indulging people that wear reps to stunt, right? And even James, during the course of our conversation, acknowledges that there are probably the majority of people that buy reps are just out here stunting, right? But there are a minority that are buying them for other reasons, and we get into some of those reasons. And if I'm being honest, I can understand some of those reasons. If you're talking about financial, if you're talking about, oh, I'm not going to get into the reasons because I don't want to spoil the episode. But yeah, very, very interesting conversation. Make sure to stick around, right? That is literally the last thing we talk about. But I feel like it's probably one of the most important parts of the convo. Definitely we'll be speaking to James again for various reasons. I think he's a very, very cool guy. Really, really cool collection as well. And just like such an amazing soul. Like you could tell, listening to him, he absolutely has an amazing love for kicks. And this is the reason why we're here. It's to shine a light on the community, to give a voice to everybody. Everyone's story in terms of how they fell in love with kicks is important to me. Right? I want to understand everybody's story. And this is the reason why we have this podcast, is to chronicle your story and to get your take, your perspective. My podcast, your story. You get me? And we're not out here just chatting about collections. We're talking about connections, right? What brought that connection about? How did it happen? And yeah, his story is super compelling. So yeah, we definitely going to run this back. There's a load of reasons why I need to do that. We're definitely going to run this back and get more of his thoughts on the culture and the reps. Because at this point, he's our reps representative. Like, we ain't got nobody else from that community that's been, apart from obviously Matt O. And I don't know if he identifies as part of that community, but he has said he's bought reps as well. I don't know if we've got too many people from that community that are willing to actually discuss it. I think a lot of them, and this is the other point, a lot of them want to give the impression that they are not part of that community, even when they are, right? But I think we're in a time in 2024 where a significant amount of people from that community are starting to come out and actually rep that community pretty strong, pretty hard. You get me? And if you are watching or listening and you buy reps, holler at me. We can have a chat. You get me? But with all of that being said, let's get into the episode. Once again, I'll bring your boy PROZECH. This is Kicks Chronicles, and this week our guest is the amazing James Blake Williams II. People, enjoy. Yes, my people, big PROZECH back again, and you already know what it is. We have another illustrious guest on your sneaker and lifestyle podcast, Kicks Chronicles. The man with me today is somebody that I can say is a friend of the podcast, somebody that has been supporting us on social media for a very long time. And so it's about time we reached out into the community, man, and shone a light on some of these pillars that are holding your boy PROZECH and Kicks Chronicles down on socials. You get me? Like, so I wanna welcome James B. Will 2, all the way from just south of Toronto, Canada, right? Bro, what is kicking, man? How you doing, man?
First of all, thanks for having me, man. I know it's been I know it's been a long time in the making. I think back in November is when we first started chatting. We're like, oh, we'll have you
Yeah,
on, and then like January, and then I think I booked in January. It's like you're a busy man. You're a busy man. That's a
bro.
good thing.
Bro, man, I try to stay busy. I try to, uh, because what they say, man, if the devil makes works for idle hands, you get me. So I'm trying to stay busy so that we don't get in trouble. You get me, man. So yeah, but I appreciate you jumping on, man. Especially obviously, it being all the way over in Canada. You'll be the second person we've spoken to in Canada. Shout out to Matt O. Big love over there to Matt O and Volker for everything that he's doing. He just had another drop, man. The shoe looks
Yeah, sneak.
crazy.
Yeah, another sneak crew drop. There you go.
Yeah, shoe looks crazy, man. So yeah, we're definitely friends of the maple. You get me? But bro, man, first and foremost, how have you been? What's popping? What's kicking, man? What's the world saying over there in Canada?
You know what, man? It's been interesting start to the year. I won't get into it, but it's I've started to step back from social media a little bit. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? A little more relaxed, a little bit more family oriented this year. I haven't bought many. I bought one pair of shoes this year. Hopefully, I'll have more.
Ooh,
But you
we'll get
know,
into
I know.
that, boy. We'll get into that.
You know what? Like I said, it's just there's just other priorities, right? Like at the end of the day, and um, yeah, it's been a good time, locally. Like I live in the country, so I can enjoy my life out here and not have to worry about trekking around the city or people yelling at me for some reason. It's just a different lifestyle, man. Just a
I
lifestyle.
love it, man. I love it. I never get the impression from the Canadians that they're super flat. It's super fast paced, but I'd imagine obviously in Toronto
Yeah,
and
Toronto
some of
is.
your majors, I'd imagine it being quite. Yeah, I'd imagine it
Yeah,
being
think of
quite.
think of Toronto as like uh, a nicer, cleaner New York City. You know what I
I
mean? Like
love it.
it's a very, and like that's not a diss on New York. I think they all know what New
No,
York's
we
like.
at this point, yeah, we
I think
know.
everyone knows like what New Yorkers are like, and it's just a clean, nicer version. But like it's not as big, right? Like, well, it's still big, but like it's just different. You know what I mean?
Nah, one of my definitely one of my dreams in terms of destinations to go to would definitely be Canada. I feel like yeah, it's been a long time coming, and yeah, I've only ever heard great things, to be honest. With regards to like people, the food,
Mhm.
and the various different sort of climates and stuff, and the various different places you can go. Like, yeah, I've only ever heard good things, man. But also, growing up, I was a massive, or to be honest, I still am, but not as much, a massive wrestling fan. And some of my biggest like wrestling guys came from Canada, from obviously the Hearts to
Yeah, the Hart brothers. Yeah,
yeah, Jericho's and Edge Christian and all these
yeah.
various different like major players in the game. So I've always had in the back of my mind that one day I'll get out to Canada, man, and really see what's popping, man. But bro, apart from me guessing about Canada, man, you know why we're here. We're here to talk about you, man. So let's go right back to the beginning. Right. We're here, we're talking about kicks. What was that first love, bro? What was that first shoe, first silhouette, first brand, whatever it was? What was that first kick that said to you, you gotta have me? What grabbed your heart?
So I think it was the Carter effect. We all know Vince Carter. The Carter effect. So when Vince Carter dunk contest
Bro,
2000.
Latino leg over? Are you okay?
The
Bro?
And1 Tai Chi was that sneaker.
Wow.
Was that sneaker that we all. I think I was like in grade. Oh man, I think I was in grade like 4 or 5 or something. And it was like that. It was that sneaker, man, that you needed. It was the one that you're like, oh my goodness, what is that? Right? It's like I still like. I think we all know the poster by now, right? The picture between the legs, and he's got the And1 Tai Chi, right? Right there. He
Bro.
wasn't even part of And1, right? He hadn't signed a sneaker deal yet.
Vince
He
Carter
just
was the
left
man.
Puma. What's that?
Vince Carter was the man. That
Yeah,
was
man.
I think that was the first dunk contest. Um the one, yeah, like the one where he was like It's done. It's done.
Over.
I think that was I think that was the first dunk contest I was fully like invested in.
Yeah.
And to see the velocity and the energy and the hops this man had, I was like, yeah, bro, this guy's an absolute legend of the game. So yeah, man, I don't disrespect. Obviously, Toronto Raptors like legend as well.
He is.
Like
He's gonna be inducted as a Raptor. He already said. Yeah,
wow,
man, we're really excited. First Raptor in the Hall of Fame he'll be.
yeah,
So that's exciting for us. But
that's
yeah,
it.
man, it was that Carter effect, man. I
The
think
car effect.
yeah. And at that time, it's interesting because we had And1, Tai Chi's, they were affordable, right? One of the big things. Like, did you guys have the mixtape tour and all that? Like,
Yeah, man. And one, we didn't have. I mean, I think
you guys
there
didn't
were
have it,
places.
but yeah,
Yeah, I think there was places you can get it officially, but
yeah,
we didn't get it. I didn't get it officially.
yeah, 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 yeah.
There was a guy at my college who used to get things, and he got that. So we would see the DVD and the mixtape and stuff like, and it was just like, and I think that was one of the reasons why basketball became such a big thing. Probably like in the early 2000s, we started sort of
Yeah.
getting involved in basketball and started understanding it a bit more. Definitely during college days as well. But yeah, man, the And1, like, although not a massive brand in the UK, it had the notoriety in
Mhm.
the sense of what it was doing in regards to street ball. But also we saw the kicks. You get Slam magazine or something like that, and
Yeah,
you'd
yeah.
see the adverts. You'd see the shoes and people wearing them, and the association.
I think we all had the slip-ons, right? I think we all had like the slip-ons, like like they were ugly too. Like, I look back now, I'm like, whoa,
This
I
is it.
wore those.
Like, yeah, the shoes weren't the shoes. From my perspective, considering from a European palette, the shoes
Oh
weren't.
yeah, no,
Yeah, they definitely weren't. But the thing is, it took a long time for us to even come round to Jordans. If we're being real, right?
yeah,
It took a long time for us to come round to Jordans. So, like, I think and ones and certain other silhouettes are probably a bridge too far in them early days. But I think at a certain point in the future, they're due for a renaissance. I'd imagine like
they did.
someone's gonna
They
bring them
they
back.
just they just re-released the Tai Chi's again like 2 years ago. Um, they weren't that bad, but like in the States they were affordable. But by the time you ship them to Canada, they ended up being like 200 Canadian. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm not spending
Yeah,
200 Canadian on that shoe. Wanna know why? Because I will not wear it. That's why. it'll
no.
be it'll just be one of those shoes that'll just sit there, and then you'll wear it in your driveway to play basketball once, and then never,
And this,
then it'll go away again. Uh,
no.
but
And
it's
one the Tai Chi was definitely a vibe though. It was a cool looking shoe. It definitely gave me sort of question vibes.
I was gonna say, so
Yeah.
on that mark, right? Like, because I know, around that time growing up, like that again, that was kind of the spark. Was like, oh, And1, I need that shoe. We all had the shoe, right? Like we were starting to get in basketball. I think all the guys that we played like we all played basketball. We're all young, and our parents had no problem getting them because they weren't Nike Jordan prices, right?
Mm.
And at that point, Allen Iverson start like he had. I think answers were out by that time. I think it was like on the
Uh-huh.
answers 3 or 4. The fours were the ones like that looked pretty crazy, right? It looked like there was like a strap around like the
Yeah,
ankle and
stop.
all that. It wasn't, but that was the shoe. At least at my school, that was the shoe that we all wanted was Allen Iverson's, and there was this one kid who always used to get the brand new Iversons, and we were also jealous of him. And like I'd ask my parents, like, we're not spending that much money on your shoe, and why not? And then like obviously like you go through shoes, you just destroy them as a kid, right?
Yeah.
Because you get one or two pairs. That's about it, right? And like that was the shoe that we all wanted. Like when I was in elementary school, I didn't grow up in the city, right? So I grew up just outside like small town, and yeah, like hip hop was a big influence. But we would read like XXL Source magazine, and we'd see, you know, Allen Iverson. Like that was the guy. You know what I mean? Like I got a Funko Pop up there of AI because you know what I mean. Like he's that guy to me.
He
You know
is
what I
the
mean?
guy.
And it's interesting the impact that we all talk about the impact he had on the NBA and from the style perspective and everything. And it's like, I he really reached everywhere, especially from
bro.
a young age, man. Like that's what we wanted. I didn't want Jordan. Like I had a pair of Jordan 17s that I got from the outlet, and
Jeez.
and the funny thing is, we got outlet, came with the briefcase, right? Came with the DVD, and my parents were okay. But I had at that time. It's funny, like this is start when I started to. I think like I was right close to that like adult sizing. I was in like size like 6 or 7 or whatever, and like youth sizing. So like you could get, like I had Air Force Ones, and the Jordan 17 was like, I was so excited to have it. I go to school, and then that kid that had the new AIs had a new pair of AIs, and no one cared about the shoes I had. It's wild, man. It's just
Oh
so
man,
different.
it's a tough game out here, man.
It's tough, man.
It's
Like
a
it just.
tough game out here, bro. Do you know what I was gonna ask you? Talking about AI,
Mhm.
because I mean, I was watching a podcast. I believe it was Mind the Game with LeBron and JJ Reddick, and they were
Oh
talking about
yeah,
impact. They were talking about impact on the game, and they mentioned AI in terms of impact on the game. Probably is like top one or two in
Mhm.
terms of like how, in terms of style, specifically, but
Mhm.
also in terms of how he used to move the ball and his movement, crossover, the skill and the ability to sort of
Yeah.
just sort of dribble with absolute like just like intensity. Like there was his impact was unbelievable. The arm sleeve as well.
Leave.
Like
We all had to. I had the i3 armbands. Like we all wanted. We all had the headbands.
bro,
You know what I mean? We all did.
it was that he's definitely unbelievably impactful. Like yeah, with the hair and then the
I
clothes,
wore.
like
So
everything.
I played American football growing up. That's what I played, right?
Mhm.
And that's what I would wear AI like sleeves and stuff playing
That's it,
football.
man. That's it. He was definitely an icon in many different ways.
Yeah.
His shoes like continue to like. I feel like obviously him and Shaq going over to Reebok just now, it will definitely breathe life into the brand. Something just happened with regards to him. I believe there was like a statue
Got the statue.
unveiled.
It's like a baby size. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, like what was the deal with that? Like it literally isn't even life size. I don't even know what was going on with that. But either way, I mean, as long as he's being like honored, I'm
Yeah,
up
that's
for
what
it,
I
man.
said. I'm like, he's being honored. That's okay.
Yeah,
It's a
as long as it's
I
not a
don't know
yeah.
why, but
You know what I'm saying? It isn't even life size. Why would they not do that? But anyway, is but bro, even just I remember like I've even like not even a very very long time ago. My friend was telling me about a documentary, and during the documentary, that infamous line about practice came up, and I remember just thinking, how did I miss this during the time, man? But obviously, there wasn't like YouTube or anything during the
yeah, I
time that
said in the
anyone.
UK, you guys didn't get it. Like I remember my dad being like, look at this idiot. Like, and like we were watching our version of ESPN, which is TSN, and
Mm.
it's like it was like on like the Sports Center, like saying like, oh, what it like this guy's like complaining about practice, the superstar being a prima donna. Man, he's nothing compared to like what's today. So
Oh, bro, come on,
like,
man. Come on, man. Come on, man. But yeah, absolute legend. Him, Vince, all of them, man, from them times. It's like those guys were literally like titans. But yeah, you kind of mentioned something that I wanna talk about. Um, like in your sort of heyday, growing up, high school, like what were the most popular shoes? Because obviously you spoke about that certain
yeah.
guy, that annoying guy that had all the I had all the
That was
AIs and that.
elementary school though. We got to high school, and that's when like I didn't grow up in the city, right? So I
Mhm.
grew up in the country, but like I went to school in the fringe of the city, and it's just a completely different setup than like a lot of my friends that grew up like in like around the Toronto area specifically, because the Toronto schools like Nike, Jordan, huge. Um, it wasn't like that where I was. You know what I mean? Like it was just like kind of everyone had their own style, but I remember being made fun of for all the shoes I had, like calling me a girl. I don't know,
Because you had too
like
many shoes.
you had too many
Wow.
shoes. You're a girl. Like, don't be a girl. You got and like I wanted to keep my shoes clean, right? Remember like metrosexual? Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
So I used to call that all the time because I had luxe shoes
Jeez,
and I like to dress nice, right?
bro.
And
What a terrible time we lived
right?
through.
What a terrible time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh my goodness, like the things that like it's so
Oh,
different, right? But the shoes at the time, you know what shoes I wore a lot, and they weren't that big. Like ice cream and Bape started to get big around that time
mm.
in my school, and but I used to wear the Reebok board flips, which were Pharrell's ice cream skateboard shoe. It wasn't the ice cream shoe. It was the Reebok skate shoe that he did. He did a couple. He did a few of them.
Okay. These were a vibe. Like I got down with these. We just referred to
Oh
them as
yeah, the
ice
green and
creams.
pink one. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
man, the green and pink one.
yeah.
I didn't have that.
We refer to these as ice creams. We were definitely on board with these.
Yeah, man,
Like we were
I
on board with
loved it.
these.
And those board flips, the first ones, like the ones that you're seeing, those things were tanks. Oh my goodness, they were so
Were they
well
heavy?
built. They were no, like they were okay. They were heavy, but on top of that, I wore them like pretty hard for years, and I swear, no tearing, no nothing. Like they were just really good, really well built shoes.
Well, do you know what? I love that, man. And to be
Yeah,
fair, yeah, I have to be honest when it comes to Reebok. Reebok do make pretty well constructed shoes. Like
yeah.
I grew up wearing Reeboks when predominantly more than most brands, and like you'd have to wear them into the ground
And the
for them
quality
to like
material too,
like
really good.
really really good, man. So
Yeah.
a big shout out to Reebok, man. But yeah, bro, that sort of watermelon kind of colorway that he
No,
oh bro, that is
I had the white with the pink tongue and the navy toe box. That was
bro.
the one I
As
wore
in,
the most.
I could get involved with those right about now.
Yeah, I
I
know.
could
I'm
jump.
like, please
I could
re-release,
jump into that right now.
please re-release these. And then I had it was like a Halloween one. It was like black with like an orange toe box. And then the board flip twos, I had the baby blue with like pink, and it was like,
Fire,
yo, like they're a nice shoe, man. Like I
bro. That's a
I,
hard
I
shoe.
let go of them years ago because I'm like, oh, these look ridiculous. Because I went through a phase where I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna wear this. Like, I'm gonna wear.
It's the colors, right? It's out there,
It's out there,
but it's a
man.
good shoe, bro.
It's a
It's
good
a good
shoe.
shoe.
I really wish I held on to one of them at least.
Yeah,
Because I went through my like after high school, I had no money, right? Obviously. So like, what did I wear? I wore Chucks and Vans. That's what I wore. Chucks and Vans. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it's a go-to. You can beat them up, replace them.
yeah,
They were cheap and to be honest, Chucks go with everything. I don't
yeah,
like
yeah.
we talk about Jordan ones. Here's a hot take. We might talk about Jordan ones and bread ones. Like, yes, this is like a grail shoe, 100%. However, Chuck Taylor's the best shoe of all time. I'm sorry. That it goes with everything. It goes with everything.
Best shoe of all time, bro.
Think of it. Think of it. It was made in like the 1920s, and
Fair.
people are still wearing them today.
That is
And
true.
they
I
go with
mean,
everything.
that is true. Like, so let's
Chuck,
calibrate a little bit. Let's
Chuck.
calibrate a little bit. Yeah. Right. So the the Chuck Taylors, the Chuck Tees, right? Definitely an iconic shoe, right?
I don't own one, by the way. I don't own one. Not my style, but
I think, I
but
think I've got a pair of Chuck 70s, but obviously they're not the originals. But
no, I had Chuck 70s recently. Yeah, they're good.
I roll with the Chuck 70, the
Yeah,
Commodore Sun pair. I got a pair down there somewhere. But like definitely an iconic shoe. Like, yeah, massively underrated. Like
yeah.
not comfortable, respectfully. Right,
No.
not comfortable, right? Super, super flat. I know there's a lot of like what's the name, deadlifters, people doing leg day
They
that
love it. They
absolutely
love
love, yeah, they
the
absolutely
zero
love,
support.
yeah, they absolutely love the flat shoe. But yeah, I do get where you're coming from in the sense that it does go with everything. Would never go as far as to say the shoe of all
Yes,
time.
hey, like you can wear them with a suit. You can
You
wear
can wear them with anything.
you can wear them
I'm
anywhere.
not disagreeing. I'm
It's
not
like
disagreeing with that aspect of it.
a
Definitely
Stan
a
Smith.
very versatile shoe.
It's
Huh?
like a Stan Smith, or
I get
like
you.
Stan Smith goes with everything. It's a
I get
basic
you.
shoe. I get that.
Yeah, it's almost like without sort of like similar to a Stan Smith in the sense that it's almost like a found almost a foundation level shoe
Yes,
that you can just sort of, if you don't have any shoes, which in that scenario
I tell people all the
you
time, don't
yeah,
buy Stan Smith. They'll
yeah,
go with everything.
they'll go with everything, and that
They're
is
comfortable. My
actually
wife likes them.
yeah, and this is it, and it's fair. It's fair if you're comparing those two. Definitely, the Stan Smith is slightly more
Don't buy
comfortable.
Skechers. Go buy Stan Smith, please. Don't buy.
Go get, bro, don't buy Skechers.
Don't
Go
buy
get
Skechers, please. Don't go to Shoe Warehouse and buy the Nike Tangents or whatever they were. Remember those?
no, I don't remember the
Oh man,
Tangines.
it was a knockoff like Roshi that Nike made, like that were like cheaper.
Oh yeah, I remember these.
You remember
Yeah,
those?
I had some aunties that wore these shoes.
See, like, go buy those. Buy Stan Smiths. Don't.
Yeah, go get a Stan Smith over these. I think they're bringing the Roshis back. To be fair, but yeah, maybe not these. But yeah, But going back to what we were talking about before in regards to what was popular, definitely the ice cream Pharrell, massive contribution to the game in terms of that shoe. And that shoe definitely we need that shoe
Pulls
to
their
come
putty.
back.
Pulls their
Yeah,
putty. We
100.
love
The
it,
bait,
girls.
because I was right with you in terms of the bait because
Mhm.
during that time, like just the influence from Japan in streetwear in the UK was
Yeah.
massive at that time for me. So it was a lot of Evisu, like and ultimately we transitioned from Evisu to bait. That's what I did. I sort of transitioned when Evisu became way too sort of popularized. I then transitioned to Bape, and like Bape was just had enough notoriety for me to get one or two nods, but not a lot of people knew what it was. And then if you're wearing a full sort of shark zip hoodie, people are like, "This guy is an actual
Yeah,
crazy guy."
this guy. You know what's wild? So when I was 16, I went to New York City, went to the BBC ice cream store when it was still like made in Japan. And I remember my parents were like, "You sure you want this? Is what you want for your birthday? These are the shirts you want. They're like $80,
Crazy.
or $100 or some insane T-shirt. Like this is, oh my goodness, how long ago? It was like 18 years ago, something like that. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's what I want. Well, guess what? I still have the BBC shirt. I still have my Billionaire Boys Club T-shirt. I am preserving that because I still think it doesn't fit me anymore. I wear larges. It's the medium. It doesn't fit me anymore.
I'm
But
with you on that, bro. But the quality was sick, and this is
quality
one
is
thing that
still
people,
it's
bro.
like unbelievable quality.
Yeah,
Uh,
from both brands, so BBC and Bape. In that time, like I had a really like I thought for myself anyway, I had a pretty deep Bape collection
mhm.
for a while. And it was during the 2007, 8, 9 period
Yep.
where I was like just accumulating Bape at sort of a rapid pace. I think I ended up selling quite a little bit of it, but I still have a few pieces. And it is just like I have a varsity sweatshirt, just the sort of Bape head varsity sweatshirt
Yeah.
with two Swarovski crystals in the Bape head. Right,
Okay.
I bought that in 2007. 2007.
And you still have it.
I still have it.
Hey, it
My
might still
daughter,
fit you because we all bought like
that
two
one for
XLs.
real. This is it because that one still fits me. Right, I
Yeah,
was wearing it recently. I
we
was
all
wearing
bought
it
two XLs,
recently.
right? Like that was the
Yeah, because those ones were real XLs as well.
yeah. Those
Because
are
they
big.
grew with me. They grew
Yeah,
with me. I wore it. Yeah. My daughter was like, "The Bape eyes. How is it still got the Bape eyes?" And I was like, "Do you know what? I didn't even realize." But yeah, I've been wearing these Swarovski crystals for almost 20 years. Like
yeah,
unbelievable, man. So yeah, things definitely changed when sort of Nigo ended up coming out and they ended up getting sold and stuff. But
yeah.
yeah, the quality was crazy back in them days, bro.
Pharrell was like considered. I would consider him in like my fashion idol back in the day. So like he could dress up and he could dress down, and
Bro,
I
he
always
could
used
do it
to
all.
love that about him.
Yeah,
Right?
he
And
could
he
do it
still does
all.
that. He still does that now. He's a
Yeah,
little too high fashion for me now. Like it's a little like it's unachievable, right? But like in those years, like the years like 2000 to 2010, man, he can rock cargo shorts with a
Bro, he could do
double
anything.
XLT, or he could rock a suit with a bow tie. You know what I mean? Like that dude could do everything.
Like he is legitimately like an icon
He's
in
a
the game.
fashion icon.
Still doing amazing things. Obviously, the LV drop that happened months ago at this point, but like it definitely garnered like some there was definitely a divide in terms of like the more sort of traditionalists, but for me, seeing sort of his pathway to get to that spot,
Mm-hmm.
obviously understanding what Kanye, Virgil, and all those other people have done, and him getting into that spot and doing what he did, I was like, good on you, bro, because
No, he's
like
the right guy. He's the right like.
absolutely the right
I'm
guy,
not a Louis Vuitton person, but like
bro.
he is like. Well, we're talking about it like from a
Yeah,
fashion icon perspective. Dude can do casual and business to black tie. You know what I mean? Like he can do it all.
absolute icon, absolute
And
icon.
I'm sorry, Kanye and rest in peace to Virgil, but those guys did not do that. Like that's not them.
It's a fair point.
Streetwear.
You never really got that from Virgil.
No.
Never really got that sort of side of it from Virgil. Although I'm sure he probably did have it in his locker.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
in terms of his personal style, and I think that's really, really key. I think Pharrell's personal style and his ability to shift,
Yeah.
and this is the thing that I think is like amazing about Pharrell is he's lived in so many. He's like Benjamin Button. He literally
He
doesn't
looks the same.
age. He looks the
looks the same.
same, right? And it's almost like things are happening for him in reverse. Like I'm getting older, and he looks the same, right? And he's been looking the same since I was in
Isn't he like
secondary school.
did he just turn 50 or something? Or like
This is it. He's looked the same since I was in secondary school.
yes.
Watching NERD videos, bro.
Yes,
So it's like
NRD.
what I'm trying to understand is what is going on here, bro. I didn't have this when I started watching for real. I'm pointing to my goatee. Pointing to the end of my beard, which is all grey now. Like for those that are listening, like I didn't have this when I was watching him when I was in secondary school, and trying to not get caught watching watching some of his videos. Anyway, we digress. Moving on to something you kind of alluded to, but I definitely want to get your opinion on, and something we always ask our guests. It's about unholy grails.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know if you are aware of what an unholy grail is, but do you know? Let me give you the opportunity, just in case you do know. Do you know what an unholy grail is?
An unholy grail?
Yes.
Like an unachievable grail like that I'll never buy, I assume.
Oh no. So this what is that is that what you're describing is fantastic. This in comparison is terrible. Well, depending on how you look at it, right? I when I was growing up had to sometimes wear things that were not 100% legitimate, or right, if they were legitimate, probably not what we would consider to be like sneakers, like actual sneakers, right? Probably made by companies that are not known for making sneakers, right? Companies like Slazenger were probably more known for making tennis rackets. They'd also make, I don't know, having to wear maybe a high tech, a
You want to
Dunlop.
know, did I ever wear shoes like that? 100%.
Wow,
I
wow,
wore Mark Echo shoes.
Mark Echo. Do you know what? My wife will lie, right? I'm not gonna say lie. She will disagree with me and say that one of the first times we went out, she wasn't wearing Mark Echoes, but she was. She fully
You know what's
was.
funny?
She
It was
fully
like
was.
when I was like buying like shoes in that high school phase. I just bought what I liked, man. I didn't matter because I didn't need to impress like Nike or Jordan people at my school. So I just bought what I liked, and like I had skate shoes too. I had like Osiris skate shoes. I had like
Osiris.
yeah, man,
Yeah,
like patent leather Osiris. You know what I mean? Like big chunky skate
I
shoes.
respect it. I respect it. I
I
respect
even
it.
had I might have had a pair of Speed Cats even at some point.
Speed Cats. That's a new one. Speed Cat sounds wild. I
You remember the
love
Speed
Speed.
Cat? Pumas?
No, bro, never heard of Speed Cat. Never
Really?
heard of a Speed Cat, man. But
Oh
I
man,
wish I
you
did.
gotta
In
look
fact,
that
I'm
up.
gonna Google it right now.
Puma
You gotta
Speed
look.
Cat. It's what all the F1 drivers and stuff wore back in the day. It was like Schumacher and
Do
stuff
you
wore.
know what? Do you know what? I get you. That's the Pumas.
It's Puma speed cat, man. Yeah.
Wow, now these are legit. Now
Yo,
I'll put a little respect on Puma. I'll put a little respect on. These look good.
they're a very feminine shoe. I'll say that. Like honestly, if like they're a very feminine shoe, man. Like you look at them, they look like
smooth.
a ballet flat. They look like a men's ballet flat. That's what they look like.
No, they're smooth. They definitely got. Do you know what? The aerodynamic is what they are. Definitely.
Yeah, they're a driving shoe. They're a driving.
Man, I get it.
They were meant
I
for
get it. No, I respect it, man. I respect it. You know what, man? Do you know the reason we asked that question isn't obviously to poke fun.
No?
Everything's obviously in all in good humor. It's more so just to understand sort of like the humble beginning, right? Where things started, where we came from.
Or be honest, or how honest is this person being on your podcast? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Like for real.
Being honest, I wore Marqueco when I wore Puma Speed Cats. You know what I mean? Like I bought shoes that I like, man. That's what I like. I don't even know what those Marqueco shoes were. They were like a high top driving boot, basically. It was hilarious. In bright red. Suede, all suede.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. But the thing is, it's all good, man. It's all good. You get me, man? Because at that time, this is what we like. This is what we could get. This is what we could deal with. In my case, my mum was like, "There's 3 things that are important to me. That is your food, your education, and God. There's nothing else that really matters." So shoes are definitely not on the agenda. So yeah, so whatever we can get that's gonna fit on your feet, your ever growing feet, we're gonna roll with that. So I respect it, man. But yeah, I appreciate the honesty on that, man. The Mark Echoes are wild, and we definitely struck a chord with me, man. I hope the thing is, I hope my wife does watch. Sometimes she pops up with things and says, "I was listening to the podcast and you said this, whatever." Hopefully she doesn't hear this, but you never know. She might do. Let's get into the EST of KIC. One of my favorite parts of the interview, where we sort of dive a little bit deeper into your current day collection, what you've got. We talk about the oldest, the newest, the greatest, the best. Right. So if we were to ask you, what is the oldest shoe in your collection? What would you say?
The oldest pair like that I've owned, like
that you currently own.
This is the I think it's a 2000. Oh man, someone's gonna correct me. I want to say like 2010 or something. Dunk High J-Pack.
Yeah, strong.
Great pair. Honestly, I picked them up a few years ago from this place right here. Omnis, my favorite. They do like vintage like apparel and not like it's like a vintage shop, but they did sneakers for a while. I picked these up back in I think it was 2021. Picked these up for $110 Canadian, which is like 75 bro. like deal. And they and like you know what, they were worn. They were a bit worn, whatever. I didn't care. Like this shop is like, you know, there's a reason why like in Kicks We Trust, like the podcast here. There's a reason why they talk about like, you know what I mean? Like these are like they're good guys here at Omnis. You know what I mean? Like they didn't.
You know what? Do you know what? Fantastic for you to have a shoe like that, in that colorway, in that sort of bread colorway, right? And sell it at that type of price, even a few years ago, like you probably could have got like triple the amount. I don't even know what
they were going for like $350 to $400 for like brand new. Like 250 to 300, and then they're like, "Yeah, James, we'll give it to you for $110. Don't worry about it."
That's it, man.
And I'm like, "Are you serious?" I said, "I'll buy them right now." I was like, "Yeah, $110." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, you got me. I'm sold." I wasn't even gonna buy a pair.
I absolutely love that, man. And that's what it is about. That's what it's about, like with the sort of sneaker community.
Yeah,
like because it doesn't have to be like a buyer seller divide. We can actually look after ourselves. We can help each other out, man. So yeah, now that shout out to Omnis. You say the name was?
Yeah, Omnis, right there, man.
Yeah. If I'm ever in Canada, which obviously we've spoken about, I plan to at some point. I'm definitely gonna pay him a visit.
They're in Hamilton, so like closer to that's where I grew up. That's the It's actually closer to me than Toronto is, but Hamilton's not a small city though. It's got 650, 700,000 people. It's got a lot of people.
Oh, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, it's just not well known. Whatever.
We respect it. We respect it. So, flipping that on its head, because I know you alluded to it earlier that you've only bought one pair this year.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm assuming this is going to be the pair. But what is the newest pair in your collection?
Yeah, it's So I think it's a shocker to many people. I started to get into started looking at skate shoes. Because skate shoes now are, in my opinion, I think they're probably one of the best bang for your buck out there right now. Good style, sleek, comfortable. And so these are the iShod Air Maxes. So iShod Wear skateboarder, California. He had the iShod Wears, which his first shoe was released. I think it was like 2022 or beginning of 2023. Do you remember? Like they made like if you look up just Nike iShod Wear, like, but yeah, the cool thing with this is that so his name's on it, right? Where Air would be, right? He got the W instead.
Oh,
It's got the jewel swoosh. This is not an Air Max unit. This is actually just a simple. It's like just a filler, but there's an actual air unit in the insole instead.
oh, okay.
So like an SB, it's an SB insole basically, SB dunk insole. But
Because they usually they'll encase like a they'll encase an air unit in the sole, right? So you won't see it, but it'll be
like
in
for
there.
I think with this shoe, like when I saw it, I think they were kind of teasing it back late last year, and I was like, that is a unique sneaker that no one has. They actually made something genuinely different, that a combination of Air Max 97s, like you can see like the Air Max 97 in there, Air Max 1 or 90, whatever you want to call it. Like he really combined it with it's super light and super comfortable. They're beat up actually. I do it on purpose because they're a skate shoe. And you know, it's one of these shoes that, well, yeah, you can see, like, you know, it's dirty on the bottom. You know, I wear it.
You've done it justice.
Well, so Air Max 97s don't fit my feet, so I have wide feet. So they're too narrow.
I'm with you on that one, bro.
Yeah, man, I can't fit in a 97.
Almost wide everything, but
these are as narrow as you'll get. I will say that they're pretty narrow, but not as narrow as a 97. But I just think they're a unique shoe. I was really excited to pick them up when they released. They're $145 Canadian, which is I think by the time you switch it over, it's probably like 110 pounds, 100 pound maybe 100 pounds. It's pretty inexpensive.
That's it. I think over here they're selling. I just checked on the Nike website. They were selling for £100. They're actually on offer at the moment. So for anybody, I mean, I don't know by the time this comes out, but they're actually being sold for £70.
Yeah, man.
So you get yourself a good deal,
Great
man.
shoe. Highly suggested.
Decent shoe, man. Yeah, decent looking shoe. And I see the vibe. Do you know what? Also, I'm getting. I mean, it might be a little bit of a random one, but I'm getting up tempo with the eyelets.
You have tempo from the wear.
Yeah, I'm getting up tempo from the eyelets. But like, definitely a cool looking shoe.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, what would you say is the greatest shoe in your collection?
Well, that's up for debate because it's kind of the shoe that forever. I'm sure you saw it over my shoulder. Maybe I've seen a little flash as I brought it up. A shoe that I really, 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 really wanted when it came out, and the pink laces. You gotta have the pink laces in my.
Gotta have the pink laces.
The pink laces
are legit.
Air Max 90 Bacon.
Yeah.
The re-release. They're not the originals. I get that. But there's just something special about this pair. Like there's something. It goes with everything. Like not everything, but it just, I don't know. There's something. The story behind this shoe is just so unique. Where it's like, Joel, he completely forgot that he was designing a shoe for Nike, and then he's like. They had breakfast. Oh, we should do one with bacon. That's hilarious. Then they do it, and it's a hit. right?
Absolute hit.
And you can say that, there's the QC issues on this pair. I get that. I didn't buy mine on release. I bought a pair off eBay after, for basically this, like for retail, which around that time, it was a unique thing to get a pair for retail.
Wow.
And the reason why, if you remember, it was because of the QC check and everyone was afraid to buy them. And I'm like, I don't care. I will pay. I think I paid 20 under retail for them.
Really?
Yeah, and they don't. You can tell the guy tried to get rid of it. There's like the pen, like you can't see it in camera, but I can see it. It's like the tiniest pen mark. There's no way you could see. No,
Okay.
like a little bit. You could see it a little bit, and then like if you look at the toe here, like I've worn them, so like it's ever so slightly, but that's it. Other than that, it's good. It's a good shoe.
Oh no.
It's my favorite.
Yeah.
I wear these. I'm not afraid to wear them. Obviously, I won't wear them when it's raining out. But like, yeah, man, this is my favorite shoe. It's not the most hype. It's a re-release, but to me, it's my favorite shoe that I own.
Well, in terms of like, and I'm with you with the bacon. I feel like, and doing this podcast has given me a new appreciation for that shoe.
Mhm.
Speaking to people with like deeper knowledge and understanding when it comes to sort of sneakers and the history behind kicks, and understanding about sort of like they quality meets and the history behind the shoe,
Mhm.
and understanding sort of how it came about and the genuine nature of that collaboration in a time where collaborations were true collaborations. It was just like, oh, that's a really cool company. We should do something with that. And it's like a really genuine, organic type of collaboration, where all sides benefit. It's definitely, yeah, I've definitely gained an appreciation for that particular shoe, and it's definitely high on my list when it comes to Air Maxes in general, man. Very, very, very good shoe. Very cool shoe. Yeah, and yeah, when you're talking about, yeah, the greatest, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, big, 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 big shoe. Okay, what if you were just running out your house?
Yeah.
You're not thinking about how like good you look or just like putting a fit together. You're just like, I'm about to run out, grab something, get something, boom, boom, boom. What's that shoe or those shoes that are just right by the door that you always just seem to have on your feet when you're running out to get something?
I think it's pretty similar to most people. Doesn't matter where you live in the world right now. It's not the specific silhouette, but this specific company. There's two companies I think that people have go-tos. There's ASICS and there is New Balance.
Yeah,
2002 R, 100%. This 2002 Rs, I don't know what they did special to this shoe. It's light and it's insanely comfortable. It's supportive on so I have bad ankles. They have so much support. They're light, they're comfy, but they're not too squishy. Like, you know what I mean, squishy. But there's something about this shoe. Whenever I put it on, like I only have two pairs of them. I have this, which is a go-to, and then I have like one of my favorite pairs in the collection, which is this beauty right here.
Yeah, from the protection pack.
Outside of the gray, I think this is the best from the protection pack, in my opinion.
Fair enough.
And just because the color.
What was the what was it lilac or lavender? What was it called again?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice purple.
So, yeah, I think it was something like that. But anyway, definitely a vibe.
It's lilac.
Lilac, that was the one.
Yeah,
it was definitely a vibe. Definitely a vibe. The protection pack. 2002 Rs in general are very insanely comfortable.
Obviously they've moved to the 1906 R, which is basically the same shoe. Let's be honest, it's the same midsole.
Similar, yeah, very, very similar.
Same midsole.
Yeah. No, I like it. That's definitely a strong shoe in terms of comfort. Would you say that's your most comfortable shoe as well?
Yeah, I've saved one Ultra Boost throughout my Ultra Boost days. I've saved one pair of Ultra Boosts.
They're always near me.
No, I wasn't planning on bringing them out, but
But the Ultra Boosts are one of my OGs, one of my goats.
But it was a recent release Ultra Boost. It is the ZX 8000 Aqua because I love the aqua colorway, and this
I'm
is
sure you do.
and I will tell you right now, this and it's not dead yet. It's not dead. The boost isn't dead.
It's still boosting.
It's still boosty. Yeah, it's still boosty. It hasn't died. It hasn't flattened out yet. So, and I don't wear them as I wore them a lot the year I got them, like a lot. I put them as the most underrated shoe of the year back. I think it was 2021. I think that was.
I don't know if you can see. I've got a pair from I think these are from maybe 2018
Yeah,
or
man.
20.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
Shoe.
like these are compacted, bro. The boost on these,
I had to get rid of. I had to
it's
get
just
rid of.
oost. There's no boost. It's just oost on these.
Talk about an iconic shoe that
Yeah,
it's still, in my opinion, still a very like
I love it.
they bring newer versions of them out. I still think they're a great shoe. I don't.
Do you know what? Do you know what? Yeah, I think there was a minute where I felt like they were going a bit of I felt like they were going in the wrong direction. Then I think it was the 21 or
I have the 21. They're pretty. They had a huge boost in the heel, and they
yeah,
were really good for running. They were good for
yeah.
running.
I think the 21 was one that brought it back a little bit for me. I started seeing it because I started realizing, but this is a running shoe, right? And this is this actually has a function
Yeah,
as opposed to it just being like, because I think those really early OG silhouettes were just so iconic in terms of style.
yeah.
I remember Kanye was rocking them, and just like everyone was just rocking them, and they were just amazing in terms of like just how they looked and the flow of and then you've got the sort of prime in it, you've got the boost technology, like it was that whole athleisure thing, and it was just like I could go from the gym.
They're a more comfortable Roshi, but they are. They're more comfortable Roshi. It's all they are.
Way more comfortable
Yeah,
Roshi, like with
yeah,
all the bells and whistles, and I just love the shoe. So
yeah.
that was definitely a vibe for me, man. Definitely in that mode, man. Do you know what, man? Do you know what we're gonna do? Yeah, right. We're gonna do this. I want a battle.
Okay.
I want to battle. I want to battle you. And you're saying okay, like it's okay, but I'm on smoke. I'm not playing games today, James. I'm not playing games today. Right? Because the thing is, one thing that has happened on this podcast too much. Yeah, there's not. We've had a lot of Adidas slander, right? Not a lot of people giving Adidas the respect they deserve, in my opinion, right? And I want to use this opportunity with you, right, to shine a little bit of a light on something we've alluded to during the course of the conversation, which is the ZX.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I want to battle. I want to battle on ZXs. Yeah. Your top three versus my top three, right? You get me? Now you can pick any top three. You can have them, not have them, right? Any of the ZX models, obviously, are available. If you pick a ZX, I cannot pick that ZX, and vice versa.
Okay.
Right?
I thought I had to have them. Okay.
No. You don't have to have them. You don't have to have them. Obviously,
Whoa,
yeah.
okay.
No, you don't, because I don't have any ZXs. Like I literally only bought one. I don't have any. I've only bought one. Right. And I don't have that one anymore. But that one is on my list. Right. So we'll see. We'll see where we go with it, bro. But like, because you are my esteemed and illustrious guest,
Okay.
right? I'm gonna let you go first, but be warned, right? I'm not here for play. I'm coming for the neck, right?
Okay.
I'm trying to win,
Well,
right?
I don't know if you saw it, but
My days.
it's the it is
My
the
days.
ZX 8000 Bape undefeated in the green specifically.
My
The
days.
green
You're so
because
annoying. That's so annoying.
what the do you I know because they were undefeated exclusive this one
The
and
greens were the crazy ones. So I got the black ones.
you got the black.
So I was saying like, yeah, that's a very strong start.
This
James.
is such a I only kept two from the A to ZX collection. Never mind. I kept three from the A to ZX collection, and this is one that you only pull out every so often to throw on because it's a very unique pair. I think it's going to be one of those classics. I think it's a classic.
Yeah, it's a fire shoe.
And
Absolutely legendary shoe.
not because it's a triple collab or anything. Like if they took, to be brutally honest, if they took Undefeated off of it, I think it would. If it was just basic,
I mean, I think with absolute respect to Undefeated, because obviously legendary
yes,
collaborator in their own right. I think we know who the star of the show is when it comes to this. The camo's crazy. Yeah, I mean the baby's nuts. The camo's nuts. Like the green pair was. I almost felt like, because you were saying it was only Undefeated. That's all I mean. So I couldn't get that pair. Right, I couldn't actually get.
Well, neither could we really in Canada. Let's just say I have a YouTube friend that happened to sell me them for a very, very good price.
Shout out to
A
friends
year
on
after they
YouTube,
released,
man.
and I was ecstatic when they said that I could have them for that price. And let's just say I was super. Actually, I think it was actually beginning of last year. Actually, that I finally got them.
Yeah. Okay, I respect it. That's a great start. To be fair, right. So annoying because for full disclosure, I had written down the greens. Right, and I have to have, and I did say that you can't have the same shoe, so we're not gonna have the same shoe, but I have to have the collaboration in my 3, right? Yep. So I'd written down the green. There are 2 others that I could go for. I'm gonna go for the camo. Right, I'm gonna go for the camo version as opposed to the black version. Right.
Okay, the black pair.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna go with the black. I'm just gonna go with the camo because the camo with the it's got the blue and the red stripe.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna go with that version just because I think the camo it shines a massive light. I'm saying that it's a strong shoe in and of itself. So you've already explained how sick the collaboration is. So yeah, I'm gonna start with that, right? In retaliation. But everyone knows, and everyone's gonna know when they watch this, that I wanted what you said, right? So you slightly have the upper hand because I'm on the back foot.
Yeah.
So yeah, right. It's over to you. I don't really know what else to say. You've caught me off guard.
Well, I'm gonna pull out the ones that I pulled out earlier because it is a special pair, which is ZX 10,000. My sin is a very, very unique shoe, made in Germany, all leather. It's again, it's not the most comfortable shoe just because it's all leather, but it is art. It's hard to. It's funny. That's the little sunlight. There you go. There's the.
Yeah, I like it.
It's a very
awesome shoe, well
crafted, made in Germany, which is a very rare thing in itself. In a sneaker, and
talking about made in Germany, the Jown Sambas were made in Germany, and they almost quadrupled the price of a regular Samba. So made in Germany is definitely a big thing now.
Well, you have the Jown too on it too. So
shout out to Jown. All right, so coming in at number 2 for me, I'm gonna go with the Concepts ZX 9000. It's the foil pair.
I sold that pair.
Yeah, okay.
I had it.
Strong shoe for me. I love Concepts, obviously. For those that don't know Concepts, the lobster Concepts, they're the same guys. But massive in Boston Marathon, heavily influenced on the shoe. The foil that they sort of wrap competitors in when they finish the marathon is where a lot of the hues come from. So definitely silver bullet vibes in that regard. But yeah, Concepts are OGs in the game. Shoe is a sick shoe. Love a little bit of silver. So I'm going to go with Concepts at number 2.
Well, number 3. I don't think you can do a ZX list without having some format of this colorway.
I know for a fact
the
I'm gonna. Yeah, okay.
ZX 8000. This is the light aqua, so like this is 2020 release. This is 2020.
Yeah.
Because I think 2019 was the one prior, and it was like a darker turquoise. Yeah, this is a shoe I'll always have in the collection. It's super comfortable. ZX. If you've ever had a ZX 8000 on foot, there's a reason why they're so popular in Europe. They're just a very comfortable, like not only underfoot, but like they're like I don't know what they've done in here, but they're like a pillow on your feet. They're so it's
Really?
like cushions are surrounding your feet. Like it's like I get why ZX is such a craze in Europe, and it's honestly what got me back into like sneakers. Like I started collecting again back in like 2017, but I can tell you right now, 2020, like I think most people, started to get back into sneakers really get into sneakers in 2020, and
Yeah.
the accessible market was ZX, and ZX are excellent pairs. I think they're kind of disrespected here in North America. No one really talks about them.
I think Adidas in general, to be honest, doesn't get a huge amount of love outside of Europe for whatever reason. But yeah, always been super well made, well constructed shoes. I just felt like they've always. I felt like they needed more silhouettes. I felt like they needed more, and I think people always want
Nike's running out right now. We know that they're running out.
They're apparently lack of innovation is the issue over at Nike right now. So yeah, we'll see what falls out on that one. You'll be the judge as to whether I'm breaking the rules on this.
Okay.
But I will remind you, this is my podcast. I never say that very often, but please allow me. You get me? I too, right? Because obviously, great minds think alike, as they say. So I too wanted to say and had on my list the Aqua ZX 8000. But on the off chance you would say, right, the OG or similar, I said I would choose a more recent pair, the Gucci collaboration.
Okay. You know what? No, you're not breaking. No, if you said 2019 pair, I would have been like, okay, Gucci pair, go right ahead. That's. I'm not like a high fashion person, but
I get
it's a good collab. It's probably a well crafted shoe. I don't know. I've never had it in hand, but
me neither. But
oh really?
definitely
400 pounds or 500, whatever.
For real. Yeah, definitely could not afford that shoe with the highest of respect. But I felt like, in general, that collaboration, the Gucci Adidas collaboration, was one of their better collaborations in the last 5 years. I think.
Yeah.
It was very respectful of the silhouettes. They took a different approach to the silhouettes that they actually used. Obviously, we've seen what Balenciaga ended up doing. We've seen what Prada have ended up doing with that collaboration. I think Gucci's sort of take on it was fantastic.
Oh, for sure.
I think like it was just fantastic.
They're the only ones that worked, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it was absolutely amazing. And I think this particular shoe was sort of a highlight for me in just respecting the heritage of that particular model and silhouette, and just adding that slight level of like just a little bit of our sort of touch on it, sort of not taking too much away from it, just a little bit of our touch in terms of having the monogram logo on there. Just elevated it ever so slightly, and I think it shows a lot of respect for the original that they just added that. They didn't add anything else apart from that, essentially. So
and I'm okay. But they did it like it's not like they just slapped the logo on it either. Like I think they actually high fashion elevated it. They didn't elevate the sneaker. I think they elevated the sneaker from a high fashion perspective.
Yeah, right? Without a shadow of a doubt. And I think when these collaborations happen, there's a number of things that can happen. But one thing that you want to see is that you want to see it be sort of a seamless collaboration. You want it to make sense, but you also want it to sort of be respectful in terms of its origins, and you want to see a nice take. You want to see a nice take on the origin. You want to see a nice take. You want to see where they want to take it. And I feel like they were respectful, and I think it was done in a very tasteful way. Shout out to the gazelles as well. I think there was a gazelle that was part of the collection that was fantastic as well.
Gazelles are an excellent silhouette. I love the gazelle.
Yeah. Like I just feel like they really did well when it came to their shoes. So yeah, that was always going to be on my list, and I knew you were going to say something about the aqua, so I needed to have one in my back pocket just on the off chance. But I think that's decent. I think that's okay. I don't know if you've killed me entirely. I think I might have a little bit of a chance, right? Considering your first one and my first one is literally a matter of taste. Second ones are different, right? Although yours is very pretty. But the third ones are exactly the same shoe, but mine just got Gucci on it.
Who wants the OG and who wants the
who wants the new Gucci?
Who wants the hype?
Who wants the hype? You get me? It's the hype guy.
As he has the Cactus Jack hoodie on.
For real.
You chose ZX? No way. No, okay.
No way indeed, bro. But that's actually decent. That's a decent top 3. People, let us know in the comments below. Let us know on social media who you think, right, what got that win, right? And we'll see what the people say. Shout out to Matto. We had him on the podcast, your sort of compatriot, a few months ago. And I think there was a take that he had in regards to reps and sort of quote unquote fake shoes that sort of garnered quite a response on social media, in terms of sort of like, I think it was Instagram, and that was one of the first sort of posts I sort of started to see your name come up and recognize your name. Because his take essentially was, for those that hadn't seen it or are unfamiliar, his take was, you know what, I don't necessarily wear reps, but I do understand having them, because for myself, I'm a completionist. I have a collection of shoes. I think he was talking about the Leica collection of dunks, right? So he's got the Leica dunks, and he wants every single one in the collection. Sorry, it wasn't the Leica dunks; it was the Leica shoes. For every time they bring out a film, and he was like, there are certain shoes that I just won't ever be able to afford or get. But I want to have at least from a visual perspective, I want to at least have it look like I have it on my wall, so I'll put them on display. So I don't mind buying a rep as a placeholder for a particular shoe that I don't have the access to get currently, right? And a lot of people sort of never had that perspective sort of outlined to them before. And some of them were like, okay, that's an interesting perspective. I kind of understand where you're coming from. And some people were vehemently against it, right? I think you were kind of on the former side. You were kind of like, you know what, that's not an issue. It's not a big deal. Reps are not a massive issue or whatever. And there were people in my DMs who, with respect, I won't mention any names because literally I can't really remember, but people that were like, whoa, buddy, don't be dealing with this guy because he's a rep guy. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Well, you can see based on my pair so far, none of those were actually made with reps, ironically enough. I don't think any pair I've showcased so far. Yeah, they didn't make reps in any of them. And if they did, they made terrible ones. So it's not like,
yeah,
it's they easy to tell most of the time. So,
well, yeah, I mean, that was my introduction to sort of James and sort of what was going on. And then I ended up saying, you know what, man, I don't make decisions or hastily judge people based on other people's experiences. Let me have a chat with the guy. Let me speak to the guy. I found him to be like you probably have found him to be a lovely guy, right? So you're like, you know what, man, I think I'm on the podcast, let's have a little chat about it. So yeah, what is your position when it comes to reps?
So the sneaker that those people were talking about, so I'm sure Matt was talking about the love of Sean Witherspoon and how we mutually love him so much.
Yes. Sean
We don't mutually love
Witherspoon.
him. If you remember that episode, or if you want to go back
Yeah.
and listen to that,
Yeah, please go back and listen to it because
but
that goes in.
the Gelite 3 collab with Atmos and Sean Witherspoon. I love that pair. Great pair. A lot of people think he's a one-trick pony. I don't think he is. I think his Adidas stuff is actually great, unique. So much so, no one bought these. I like them.
Quick question. No. Would you say his
This
Adidas
is the pair
stuff was better than his Nike stuff?
pair, right? So this pair, this is better than any of the Adidas stuff he did, and it's Asics. I'm not questioning that. So this right here is a replica, fake, whatever you want to call it. Little backstory on me purchasing these. So when I first started getting back into sneakers back in 2017,
please,
I didn't have a ton of money, and I was looking, and I'm like, oh, well, I think at that point the Yeezy 350 Pirate Blacks were released, right? And we all know all the fakes that came out with that, right? Terrible, right? Like that reps were terrible.
Yeah.
They really were. Like it wasn't like early 2000s rep bad, like we all remember, but like it wasn't good. So I joined the rep community, hadn't bought anything. I just wanted to keep tabs on it, right? Like I was trying to understand basically what you're doing. Why are people buying fake pairs when they could just buy an alternative to that shoe as an, right? Different colorway, different whatever, right? So a few years went by. Beginning of 2023 or end of 2022, technically, is I made the purchase because it takes about a month to get to you, and I got them. Actually, I got them in like beginning of February or something in 2023. This pair specifically, right? No, so like okay, so we'll deep dive into the rep community.
Was it
I'll
Panda
make
Buy
it
or
short.
somewhere else?
Rep sneakers on Reddit. It is a lot to learn. So it was years and years of. There are middlemen and there are certain factories. Some of these middlemen have factories as well, but they specialize in a specific sneaker. Okay, so this was by. I won't say it because I don't want you to be, what is it, demonetized or whatever, right? But there's a specific middleman, whatever, that makes this shoe basically to exact specs, right? It's you look at it, it's perfect. It is perfect.
Yeah, exact specifications.
The only difference because I like details in sneakers, I can point them out pretty quickly. Like the mini swoosh, no one would notice like right now, but the swoosh is slightly bigger on the real ones. But other than that, they fit. And so that's the big thing. So before I bought these, the year leading up to it, I started to realize that people who bought reps, didn't do it for the clout. And it's one of the things that is a misconception, I think, about the entire rep sneakers. Oh, they only do it because they want to be popular. They only want to go to the club and flex. They want to flex and flex and flex and flex, right? And the reality is that I'll say about 70%. 70%, 30% definitely into flex. Definitely into like I'm not gonna lie. If I said 90%, I'd be like, no, I'm lying.
100.
I would say 7 out of 10
there's definitely
are like me. And they're like, I genuinely love this design. I genuinely love this sneaker. I'm not paying $2,000 to and then I will say that I had a lot of people that were like, oh, well, just sell a bunch and to buy that one. I'm like, I'm not wearing a $2,000 pair of shoes on my feet. There's no way. I'm like, I understand if people want to do that, that's totally fine. I'm not judging them for it at all. I just ask that you don't judge me because I don't want to spend $2,000. And instead, I spent 200 Canadian, right? Like 150. US. And like it comes down to like, I love this shoe. It was the only Sean Weatherspoon I didn't have, silhouette wise. And the reality is that I love this shoe. I take sneaker photos. I enjoy taking sneaker photos. We didn't even talk about that. I love taking sneaker photos. I love stories behind shoes. I love design. I love materials. And I'm one of those people, especially with Jordan 1s. Okay? So you can't tell me that most people who own Jordan 1s that bought them from StockX, Go, eBay, whatever. Jordan 1s reps, by the way, if you buy the top ones, you can't tell the difference. That's why it's an old.
I can imagine, yeah. I mean, it's a very old silhouette, and I mean, it's similar. I would say like there's certain Nike silhouettes because of their age and because of just how popular they've been over the years. It wasn't
them,
to tell.
But there's a prominent,
so I don't doubt
sneaker resale shop in Toronto, and I had a very I just said I was in their store and we ended up chatting with one of the managers, and I was saying how do you guys tell? I'm not one of those people. I have a couple pairs of reps, I said. And they just outright tell me, they're like, we don't buy specific sneakers anymore because either the reps are better for QC or it's just impossible to tell. And they said the only way to tell most of the time is the box. The only way to tell now. The sneakers themselves. Now, it's not everyone, not every single one, right? They don't know how to make a Jordan 3 yet. The reps are terrible on Jordan 3s, outright. Jordan 4s, they've almost perfected them. Jordan 1s, but the shoe that is the easiest, and I think you're wearing his sweater. Travis Scott's. There's no way. Every Travis Scott, they said they don't buy them anymore. They haven't bought them for years because it's not worth putting their store in jeopardy to sell a fake. And they said it's too close. He said actually the Phantom one's the black one, right? Impossible, they said. They said the rep pairs have better materials.
Yeah. Guys, make sure to go light up James. Make sure to go show your support. Make sure to go to send him some love online. And if you've got a difference of opinion, let's all be respectful. You get me? Let's all be respectful. I'm saying let's be respectful in the comments. You get me? It's all well and good to have a difference of opinion. You get me? But let's respect one another because, as I said earlier, I feel like the rep community, there would be no rep community if there was no authentic community sneakers. Without sneakers, there's no reps. So you can't say that they're not part of each other. It is what it is. Regardless of whether you want to accept it or not, there's no reps without sneakers, without kicks, without the community. There's no reps, right? And it's a true reflection, and obviously it offshoots into other things as well. But I mean, I think most people will agree this is where it started. So yeah, man, it's good for us to have these conversations so we can understand more about things. Guys, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. 5-star reviews only. I've said it before, I'll say it again. You ain't even gonna get my attention if you ain't giving me a 5-star. Even if you hate the pod, do it under a 5-star. At least I would say. But yeah, it'd be amazing if you guys can do that. Obviously, massive thanks to James. Thank you once again for being so honest and really, really cool on the pod. We definitely can run this back at some point in the future, man. I'd love to have a chat with you again. And yeah, until I see you, man, down the road. Yeah, everyone stay blessed, man.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Kicks Chronicles. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, rate, review, and all that good stuff. And remember, full video version is available on YouTube, audio versions available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.